Welcome to Lindemann Outdoors. Join Buckshot and Iceman Lindemann as they celebrate God's beautiful creation through fishing, hunting, and outdoor adventures. It's time to fill the freezer and enjoy the great outdoors the way it was meant to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Lindemann Outdoors. It's my radio voice.
That's an interesting radio voice.
Yeah, I just talk lower. And oh yeah, I'm like Kool-Aid Man. But we're back after a little bit of a break. I guess we can call it like, maybe this is season 2 of Lindemann Outdoors.
Yes.
This is season 2. That's what we're calling it right now. I'm married.
Yeah, we had to take a break to get Jacob married.
Yep.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Jacob and Allie.
Yeah. All love and everything else. But now we can get back to the serious business, which we recently got our butts kicked in a 3D archery tournament. So I think we should talk about that. Not our butts kicked, but we realized that the game has changed in the last 5 years. And it's no longer just, people who bow hunt try and get into these shoots and try their best and see what happens. And we've also found out that if you take a 5-year break, people catch up and pass you very easily.
Yeah, technology is always evolving. So they got some pretty good stuff out there. Some good shooters also. And then I think it's just archery has kind of made a resurgence, I think, here in the last 5 years as well. So there's a lot more shooters than there used to be, and there's a lot of people that they're a lot more dedicated also. But it was, I wouldn't say we got our butts kicked because we ended up in the middle of the pack. I mean, we just,
it was our first tournament back, really, from our.
We haven't shot any tournaments in a long time. So
no, had to go play some college football and.
Yeah, we weren't terrible. I think I should remember where we were in the team tournament. I looked at the results, but, we
were the upper half for sure.
Yeah, upper half. I think I was top 10 for individual. Yeah. I mean, which that shoot, that was pretty good because there were some good shooters there. There were some shooters.
I mean, and I know how mine went. First target, I hit a 5. And those who don't know and are in 3D archery, if you hit the target, you get a 5. So.
Right.
And the best score is a 12. So let's just put it that way. First target, I miss. So therefore, and nowadays, if you miss, you get 1-5, you're not winning.
Well, you can't even really shoot any 8s, to be honest.
Yeah, you hit an 8, you're not winning. If you hit all 10s, you might get top 3, 4, but you have to hit 12s.
You got to hit some 12s. And you got to hit about
majority of 12s. Yeah. And this shoot was the Aberdeen, was it the Tournament of Roses buckle shoot? Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah.
It was a great shoot. Enough. Yeah, close enough. But no, we shot alongside some great shooters. They ended up getting second place. So that was really cool to see. And I think it's interesting how different 3D shoots are from each other. And we're kind of like getting pretty niche here with the competitive archery stuff. But there's some shoots that we've been to, like in Fertile, Minnesota. Their shoot is the yardages were all pretty fair, but the shots were hard. They were through trees, they were straight downhill, they were uphill, you kind of had to go on your knees. They were more difficult shots, but easier yardages. And then there's, your archery shoots that are pretty much just lanes, and they're wide open targets, but the yardages are weird. And it's, your 20s and your 37s and your 46s and we were shooting bow hunter class, which we can get into how bow hunter class is no longer bow hunter class in competitive archery, it seems like. But it's just, it seems that the times have changed and everybody is just coming out with these rigs that are just decked out and tricked out with everything you could imagine. And here we were, a bunch of rednecks pulling turkey feathers and chipping blood off our arrows.
Well, we shot our actual hunting bows too versus, you can set up a target bow. There's things you can do to, you can, ours was set up. We just grabbed our hunting bows that we hunt with. And I like to do that too, because it's really good practice for hunting season and you can get out there and you see how your bow shoots. It's just the more arrows you fling, the easier it is to shoot a deer in the fall. So I wasn't too disappointed about that at all.
No, and I think we hit some good, the targets after we got warmed up a little bit. I think we were shooting pretty darn good. I mean, for some reason, we were shooting better on the farther away shots than we were on the closer shots.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's just an us thing or a me thing specifically, but those close range, those 23s and closer targets are usually a smaller target For some reason, I just don't shoot as well on those as I do like a moose or a caribou or an elk or an antelope at 40 to 60 yards. For some reason, I can just nail those. A 23-yard coyote, I'll miss the 10 ring, and I'm like, what? I don't even know what I'm doing. But it's all about practice.
Mm-hmm. Jeez. Remember that guy I was talking about? They had some women in that shoot that beat people?
Yeah.
Thank God I just barely beat those two. They were right behind me. But
Oh, are you looking at the...
Yeah. But, I mean, I was right there. I mean, first was 362, so out of 34 targets, you know. So it isn't, I mean, it just... We'll get back into it. We got to fling some arrows. We got to, you know, get...
I mean, should we talk about your setup or game plan to
I
come
don't
after
know.
these people?
Sure.
Or?
I mean, because we have target... I have a target bow. You have a target bow.
Yeah, we have target bows, but
So you can shoot up your target bow to shoot 3D. You know, you shoot little light arrows and you shoot a little lighter poundage and a little better sight. And you just kind of... It's just easier than pull... You know, that's the other thing, too. We were pulling 70-pound, you know, 70-pound hunting bows and... it's just a little, you know, and I think, you know, and the guys that were with us, I think they were like, geez, respect, you know, shooting your hunting bows. And I think we were right with them. But, I mean, it was a good time. It was a lot of fun. Great, met some good dudes and some nice women out there, too, as well. Good shooters, good people. It's one thing I love about the Midwest is the people are just so friendly. Everybody's so nice. I will
say that the people in the Dakotas are some of the nicest people I've met. And I've been around mostly the upper northern region of the United States, but the people in the Dakotas are way nicer than anyone you'll ever meet in Minnesota or Wisconsin.
I'm sorry, Minnesota. Minnesota nice is, it's not really a thing.
We've said this before. It's Minnesota passive aggressive. Minnesota nice. It's got taken over too much by the cities area, and it's not, I don't even know if Minnesota is very Midwestern anymore.
Yeah.
It's kind of getting just too urbanized, and I just think they're losing their Midwestern values.
Anyway, we won't get into politics and talk about the left-leaning state of Minnesota. It'll get us banned again.
Yeah.
We don't want to be banned anymore.
Well, yeah.
We're shadow banned for our views. Would you say it was me? I probably did get us banned.
You are the reason we were shadow banned for a little bit.
Yeah, well, we're Gen X. We're not soft like ice cream like a lot of people.
Are you Gen X?
I am. I'm just like squeaked in to Gen X. So I could be considered an elder millennial too, but not really. I'm more Gen X because I was in 75.
I'm gonna look this up here.
Yeah, I'm old.
Okay. The silent generation was born, this is the birth. We're going to go through this. The silent generation, 1928 to 1945, 80 to 97 years old. That's the silent generation. The baby boomers, or 1946 to 64, 61 to 79. Gen X is from 1965 to 1980, 45 to 60 years old. So you would be Gen X right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I am millennials from 1991 to 1996, are 29 to 44 years old. So you're 30s to 45.
Yes,
and
you're
Gen
not
Z, which is me, 1997 to 2012, 13 to 28. I'm going to be turning 25 here in a month, so I am Gen Z.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Gen Alpha is the newest one, and they're still being born 2013 to current.
Right.
So you're 0 to 12. That would be.
So the millennials are all the participation trophy kids. Let's just put it that way.
Gen X is said to be the group before millennials, now middle-aged, but not quite a boomer.
Yeah. What else do they say about Gen X? They should talk about
Gen X characteristics.
Yeah. We'll see if you get a funny one talks about how, you know, you've seen all the memes where the people are like, how come we don't ever say anything about Gen X? They're like, don't talk about them. They will. You don't want to mess with them. They don't mess around. They will end you.
Gen X traits. They are independent and self-reliant. They are skeptical and realistic. They grew up seeing political scandals, Watergate, economic struggles, and corporate downsizing, making them more skeptical of authority than boomers. So they don't trust anyone.
No, because they've been lied to.
They're tech adaptable because they grew up and saw everything from cassette tapes, rotary phones, to cell phones and the internet. Work-life balance advocates. Unlike boomers, Gen X values work-life balance over living to work, pushing for flexible hours, remote work before it was trendy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which you've been doing that your whole life because you make fishing trips happen through work somehow.
It's called winning.
We need a Lund, about 20-foot Lund to go serve power at all these lake cabins. It needs a trolling motor. I don't tell me why, but it does for electrical purposes.
Yeah, I can't confirm or deny those comments.
I don't know if we can. I can cut this out if you don't want me to, but I know the one time you guys were taking a huge barge and laying underwater wire, and the barge was going just slow enough, and you brought your rod and were catching walleyes off the barge because you had to be out there. You were driving this barge very slowly, laying
Well,
wire the whole.
that wasn't me, but it was one of my coworkers that did that, and we wanted to see
if it would work.
Actually, they were just using a jig to locate underwater cable, I should say. And unfortunately, the walleyes kept grabbing the jig, so they were interfering with them doing their job.
Yeah,
that's what happened there. But we won't mention any names to protect the innocent or anything.
There's nothing wrong with that. They're just doing their job. They're trying to locate the cable with the heavy.
Trying to locate the cable, and then these walleyes
keep biting.
Pesky walleyes kept biting this lure. So that's what happens. But anyway,
Gen X stuff.
Yep.
They are loyal, but not blindly.
Yeah.
Loyal to their work, but more pragmatic. If a better opportunity arises, they'll jump.
Peace out.
They're entrepreneurial, known as the latchkey generation. Many Gen Xers develop entrepreneurial mindsets with lots of small business owners and side hustlers. You're always saying, I got 6 jobs.
Yep. I used to.
Cynical humor. They often have a dry, sarcastic sense of humor shaped by 80s and 90s culture. Think Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
It's fair.
It's all true.
Their pop culture references that they were raised and shaped by are grunge, Nirvana, hip-hop rise, and alternative rock.
That's why we listen to all types of music.
As well as the rap scene.
Mm-hmm.
Movies, Star Wars, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and Fight Club.
Mm-hmm.
Also, honorable mentions, Top Gun and Rocky movies.
Yep. Good ones.
You guys were the first to use personal computers, video games, Atari, Nintendo, and early internet, AOL, and dial-up.
All facts.
We had a Nintendo 64.
We did.
You were pretty good at Super Mario Brothers.
It's better at Tecmo football.
You were. But I do know when we were a kid, we would be playing Mario, like the original Mario, and we couldn't pass a level, and we'd have to call you, and you'd be like, okay. And grab
this is how you do it.
A, B, and up, down.
Yeah, good stuff. Those are good games. Some of these video games now, I don't understand.
I think the sports ones are still really good, but there's too many that are too difficult. They're they're more movies now than they are video games.
Yeah, they're weird.
Call of Duty was good back in the day, but now it's
it was.
They're trying way too hard, and you have all these guns that don't even exist.
Right. Yeah, we don't. But yeah, so there's, I don't know how we got off on this.
Now I want to see Gen Z.
Sure. I don't know how we got from 3D archery to talking about generational differences.
We'll get back to it.
But anyway, yes. Maybe I was talking about whiners. That might be why.
Key traits of Gen Z. Digital narratives. First true internet kids. Never knew life without smartphones, social media, and instant access to information. I remember when the iPhone was invented. I remember when that came out. I remember you got one because through work you got like the first iPhone. We thought that was pretty cool. I remember flip phones. I remember we did always have the internet, but not really like social media and stuff. And what was the MySpace? And there was something else. They had like a kid version that we had in school. But I remember in like first grade, they started bringing in what they called the cow. It was this giant cart of giant Dell laptops that they'd bring to your classroom and let you do a little fun stuff on to learn. We are visually driven for video content, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram Reels, over reading long articles or watching traditional TV. I do enjoy YouTube. I'm a YouTuber. Diverse and inclusive. Most racially and culturally diverse generation in history with strong values around inclusion, equality, and social justice. I mean, sure. I don't care what anyone looks like. I just don't like people. Leave me alone and I want to go to the woods and be alone.
No, that's not ever so true. We just don't like bad people. Good people are great. Bad people are just terrible.
That's one thing I will say. I don't care what you look like. Just don't be a dick.
Yeah, be nice.
Be nice. Be friendly. Doesn't matter. You gotta be friends. Independent learners. Self-education through YouTube, online courses, forums. DIY. We're the DIY generation when it comes to skills, hobbies, and knowledge. That's true. All I learned from this video production and podcasting and YouTube and cameras and stuff, I took college classes, but I was doing that stuff when I was 13. We're financially cautious, more cautious with spending and focused on financial security, unlike millennials who love to spend.
Mm-hmm.
They are most closely characteristics and can get along with the Gen X generation.
That's
They
right.
hate millennials. I hate
Yep.
strong word, but it says strongly dislike their millennial counterparts.
Mm-hmm.
We are realistic but optimistic. More realistic than millennials, but still hopeful about changing the world. But especially for environmental and social issues, but can understand the realism when it comes to certain cultures and issues. Makes sense. The culture. We grew up with iPhones, Netflix, and video games. Music was hip hop, pop, and rap, and country crossovers.
Mm-hmm.
And then fashion. We are trend recycling, often going after Gen X fashion in the
Mm-hmm.
early 80s and 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Love unthrifted and vintage clothing. We
Yep.
reject fast fashion and favor sustainable choices. I would say that's true of my generation. We're always like the crew necks and the jeans and the nice jackets and the all 80s and 90s clothes. That's way better than today's stuff. It's terrible. This is the summary. They are tech savvy, socially conscious, financially aware. Gen Z wants authenticity. Authenticity? How do you say that?
Authenticity.
Authenticity and control over their own future.
You want to be authentic.
So apparently Gen X and Gen Z get along and millennials just fight everybody.
Yeah, they're kind of their own deal.
But we'll get
But
back
it's,
into this archery thing. Because
that was a
I just remember this
long
question.
rabbit hole tangent there.
Yeah, that's what we
So
do
we,
in this podcast.
so we were talking about target bows. We're going to set them up with little light arrows.
That's what you're going to do.
Lighter
This little
poundage.
shit.
I'm going to put a little different sight on there. Make it a little easier to hit the 12 ring.
Yeah. And I'm going to try and just be stubborn and just use my hunting bow with my hunting arrows and not change a thing in my hunting release and just try and win and just try and be better than everybody else with a hunting bow instead of a fancy decked out longer axle target bow. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try my best. I think it'll make for interesting. I mean, the last 3D shoot we were at, I shot the insert out of a target, which I don't even know how that happened because you shot it and it didn't move. And your arrows are heavier than mine.
Yeah,
Maybe
yours
you
are-
loosened it up for me or something, but
It's hard to say.
I shot there was this pheasant on a fence post. It was kind of a cool little target. And
No,
the
I
insert,
remember I shot it second because they put it back together after
oh
you
yeah, I
knocked
shot
it
it
out.
first. You probably would have knocked it out too. But I hit it and the insert just goes flying out the back. And people were shooting, but they were like, I've never seen that happen before.
Mm-hmm.
But as the arrow build master himself, Jeremy, he built my arrows to if I meet a shoulder blade or a rib, I don't care. I'm going through it.
They're going to knock some stuff out.
Yeah. When I hit a deer with those arrows, it's just boom. It sounds like you hit him with a 2x4.
Yeah, I think yours is about 425 greens, maybe.
I thought mine were like 463 or that.
Yeah, they might be. We'd have to weigh them. I think mine are just a little bit heavier than yours because I didn't put any weighted inserts in yours. I put a 50 grain insert in mine, so I actually have 150 grains up front.
Yeah.
So, but
my arrows, you made those new ones. Those things fly good.
yeah, they fly good. They shoot pretty well.
Oh yeah. I was gonna ask you though, what are your thoughts on the 3D shoots? Like, do you like it when there's just a clear path mowed out and the target's there and it's just a weird yardage, or do you like it better when it's say like 35 yards or 40 yards, but it's a harder shot because it's
Like you got to shoot between two trees or just over a hill or
you gotta go on your knees or
thread the needle. Yeah, those shoots are fun. I enjoy it all. Actually, I really don't.
You don't have a preference.
I would probably go with that preference of is being able to say the. That weird off yardage is. I know why they do it because it's everyone sets their sights to 20, 30, 40. But then if they let you have a movable, it really doesn't matter. You might as well make it.
Yeah.
The same distance anyway. They're trying to play games with arrow trajectory there to make it more difficult.
Which it is.
It works.
Yeah.
And you just have to get to where you know your bow.
Because every bow and arrow setup you shoot different. Like,
yep.
That's why it's
important to practice.
Yeah. And we can't shoot similar setups. So like, when we were kind of in there, like, well, I just shot, there was one target that was 32.5 yards, and I just shot for 30 with my bow, flinging those things so fast that at 32 and 30, it's kind of about the same. So
yeah, and mine was dropping just a little bit. Like I had a couple that I missed this by an inch or two, trying to hold there, but the weight difference was was
Well,
different.
I think it's because you kind of have that heavier front end. It was diving a little faster.
Yeah, mine drop a little. I'm trying to find that balance between flat shooting and hard hitting. And, there's some people that shoot these 600 grain arrows and, 200 grain broadheads. And, yep, they definitely go through stuff. But when you're trying to shoot 40, 50, 60 yards out west or even at a whitetail, mule deer, you're not getting, yes, people get within 10 yards all the time, but a lot of your shots are 40, 50 yards. Out west, that's considered a close shot. If they're within 60, a lot of people out west are shooting. They shoot out to 100 yards. They don't like talk about it because you get people throw a fit that, that's not ethical. I'm like, well, I disagree. I can show you shooters that'll sit there all day long and put that arrow in the 10 ring at 100 yards. So it just comes down to practice, and everyone has their own ethical range, and you should know that range, and you shouldn't shoot past it. Like if you can put at 50 yards, I can put every arrow in the target, right where it needs to be. Yep, I can do that too, but I've also had bucks that I passed at 50 and 70 yards because I didn't feel comfortable shooting at them.
Yeah,
and that's the ethical thing to do.
Yeah. To me, it's, I
bow hunting.
Like my ethical range is if it's past 60, I'm going to need perfect conditions to let it fly. And if it's between 60 and 40, it kind of depends on just the shot. If it's out in a field, I'll probably take that shot. But if it's in the woods, I like 40. I like 40 and in.
Yeah, and I like 15 and in. I like 15-yard shots. I don't want them too close, but about 16 yards.
Yeah.
I think about all the deer that I've shot over the last 20 years, and even the big bucks, everything's pretty much been within 30 yards and in.
Yeah.
Now,
and your bow, your 30 and 20-yard pin are what, millimeters, centimeters apart?
Yeah, they're almost touch. There's not much difference.
Yeah. And
30 yards and in, I can hold right on and hit vitals all day long.
Yeah.
I can hit 10. So.
And my bow, I put
center.
Yeah. My bow, I put the 30-yard pin on the heart. My 20-yard is going to hit top of the heart, low lung.
Yeah. Well, you aim for the center of the body with your 20-yard pin. You're probably good out to 35 yards. But anyway.
But no, and what's that quote? I think it's John Dudley or something. You practice 100 you practice 60 to 100, so your 20 to 40 seem like
chip shots.
Cakewalk. Yeah, something like that.
Practicing long distance really does make the close shots feel easy. It's just it's holding too. You got to hold more still at further distance. It builds your form, which allows you to shoot better. That's really all it is. The more still and the more you can line up your skeleton and get everything to sit just right, the better you're going to shoot. But it all comes down to practice, and that's why we shoot these 3D shoots. Yeah. Now we're going to try to, one of our goals was to try to get back into the competitive side of things a little bit, which we're doing. But that's just good for you. It's just going to make you a better bow hunter, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah. And I don't I'm starting to feel like this is just my bow and my setup and how I shoot, but my release is not as important as it is holding steady with my pin.
Holding steady and being pointed in the right direction and having a smooth follow through is almost more important than you don't need to think about. A lot of people, they obsess over certain things, but your brain can only do so many at a time. And really, it's only one. So you either got to focus on aiming or you got to focus on the release and then aim subconsciously. I prefer to aim consciously and trigger the release subconsciously. And you do that through practice and muscle memory of shooting where you don't even think about it. It does its thing. Make sure you get anchored up. Make sure you got that pin where you want the arrow to go, and make sure you hold still. And it's going to probably go there.
Yeah. And with me, I was kind of on that trend that a lot of people are using a thumb button to hunt with. Because, in target archery, it helps with accuracy. It's easier. You can kind of anchor into that, and you can get your back tension and pull, and it's better. But with hunting, I was that way for a while, and I wounded a deer because it didn't go off when I wanted it to. And I think that I kind of learned that lesson, and I'm kind of doing now, and I'm actually going to shoot these 3D shoots with what is it, just an index finger release, or what's the actual technical term?
Yep.
And just a normal hunting release, and I'm going to start doing that more in these 3D shoots and try and get really good at that, because sometimes you need to kind of pull that trigger fast, and you need to you have more time than you think. But I kind of learned that with turkeys. is sometimes you need to pull that trigger now, and you need the arrow to go now, and you need to hit that deer or animal now. And I think there's a lot of people shooting hinges while bow hunting.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a hot take. Maybe it's not. It's a current fad. These thumb buttons and
it's
back
not
tension.
current.
It's been that way.
It's been that way. You get people that do that. It's whatever you feel the most comfortable is what I think.
Yeah.
For me, I've had situations where, well, I don't have time to, pull on a back tension and get the clicker to go. And a lot of times I got a deer or whatever. It's in the shooting lane. It's there for 2 seconds. I got to shoot. I got to take my time, aim and shoot. I don't have time. It may step or it may do something else in that amount of time. So it's a command release thing. I want that arrow to go when I want it to go. Yeah. And I want to, make sure I'm hitting. It's important to make a good, clean, ethical shot and, hit the deer where it needs to so it expires quickly and clean, quick kill.
Yeah.
So,
and
we don't want them to suffer.
No, and I but back to the 3D shoot is we actually recorded a video, and that should be while you're watching this, you can go ahead and watch the 3D shoot, and that would be kind of just wanted to film the shooting and just kind of like a POV experience, not necessarily POV, but just how it is just going through a shoot. We didn't really do an intro or a challenge or whatever. It's just it's just kind of fun to watch. So go watch that if you want to. It's kind of nice to just see our process and hear some.
Well, this shows what it's all about. You get to see us walking around shooting some 3D targets. In case you were ever wondering is this something I want to do? What's it like? Well, you'll get to see. Yeah, no. You could put what it's like to shoot a 3D shoot or something as your title. Or ever wanted to try 3D archery? Here's what it is.
Yeah. Some of those targets were cool. I've never seen they had like the Tracheodon. I've seen the Velociraptor before, but they have there's one that was a snake, like a boa, and you had to hit its head, and the head was about that big in a diamond, and it was at a cool angle, and that was kind of cool to see. Maybe your classics, your full-size targets are fun. Like that elk one in the pines, that one was pretty cool.
That was a great shot.
They had a
buffalo. That was a cool one.
They had a
brand new buffalo target.
Yep. They had a moose and a stag out across a pond that you shot from uphill. And you shot over a pond at 60 yards and nail a big moose. And geez, those people just put on those shoots. It's good to go out there and support the shoot. They put on a good course. And
yep. And then if you want to join your local archery club, they always need volunteers to help fundraise and set up targets. And there's a lot of grants out there, too. We talked about conservation before. That's where a lot of this money goes, is to building archery ranges and courses. And it's great family activity, little kids all the way, men, women, children. Everybody can go out there, all ages, and hunt and shoot arrows. And it's a great life sport. Archery's where it's at. So lots of fun.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great sport to get your kids into. We've said this before, get your kids into archery, get your kids into hunting and fishing. They won't have enough money to buy drugs or...
That's a fact. They'll be too broke.
They'll be too broke to get into more other nefarious hobbies.
Yeah, and it's good. It's good mental discipline too. You have to... It's like a martial art, archery is. So it's just a good wholesome activity. It's as old as man. Archery pretty much is hunting.
We know why they invented archery, right?
Yeah, because they wanted to stab that guy way over there.
I hate that guy, but he's too far away to stab.
Yeah. I want to stab that guy over there from here. If only I could send my knife over there somehow.
Yeah, but no. And we'll kind of wrap this one up. But this is kind of a good one just to get back into the swing of things. And we got some good guests coming up here soon. So the week of
Oh, my God.
What? Breaking news?
Oh, I tell you. Breaking news. We are officially signed up for the Bow Hunters Rendezvous in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Got our team sheet in there.
There we go. We'll see how we do in that one.
Yep.
Definitely going to be practicing flinging some arrows. But
yep, that's a fact. Yeah, you should, and like I've always said, you don't need walking practice. You need shooting practice. So if you can only shoot 10 yards, well, put a dime-sized mark on your target or several of them and try to hit those.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised how much better that makes you. I mean,
get a Sharpie and draw a little. We used to do that on all our targets. You'd take a Sharpie or something and paint just a tiny little dot.
Mm-hmm.
We used to use those a lot though. When you're sighting in your rifles, they have those targets that when you hit them, they like turn green.
Yeah,
the patches.
Yep, the
that
shoot
are
and see targets with the Viz. You have those little black patches to cover up your marks. Those
Yep.
are great to take and put on your archery target.
Yeah, because they're about the size of a quarter.
Yep. Aim small, miss small.
Yeah, and yeah, you don't need walking practice. You just need shooting practice, like you say. You can, and it's really just about your follow through and knowing your setup. And if you know your sight tape's on, it doesn't matter where you're at. Especially if you're doing a single pin slider, doesn't matter. Hold still and shoot steady.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a hold still, shoot steady. That's right. Aim small, miss small. Yeah.
Easy enough, right? Don't miss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just don't miss. Okay, here's how you shoot. Here's how to be the best at archery. Okay, shoot your arrow, hit the bullseye, and then repeat. That's all you got to do.
Simple.
It's simple. Mm-hmm.
But no.
Yep.
We'll wrap this up. We got some fun guests coming in the future, so we're looking forward to that.
We're turning
you
the
guys
corner
more.
towards bow season here, folks.
Yeah, fishing's kind of wrapping up, but we'll still throw a few jigs out there, or some baits, or shad wraps, or
we're always getting
whatever,
jiggy with it.
We're happy to be back, and God bless you, and keep keeping on. Forgot our
Peace
catchphrase:
out.
fill the freezer. Jeez, take 2 weeks off, and I'm just back to square one.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of weird there. Well, it'll be all right. We'll get it next time.
Yeah. Well, welcome back, folks, and have a good night.
Peace out.